Hello and welcome to the $1 Million Message. This is your Fearless Friday message with Callie DeBlando Brigham, calling from beautiful Pensacola Beach, Florida. We are going to get mathical today. Have you guys heard me say that before? There is magic in the math, and I think you're going to love this story. Before I share it with you, I go live with my team, well, a lot now. But consistently on Thursday nights, we gather for 20 minutes virtually, and I always like to start with a book passage, just as people are getting on, and that's just something that has always been a priority to me is learning from people that are experts or intentional in their field or their calling. And so I thought, well, what do I want to share with them? And I just really felt led, especially in the last couple of weeks, to tap into our Mary Kay strong foundation of amazing leaders, of course, like our own Mary Kay. And I pulled out a golden oldie of a book called Paychecks of the Heart, and it's stories of national sales directors. It, I think, came out about 20 years ago, which sounds so ancient. But I opened up the front to decide which story I was going to tell, and I saw a quote from Mary Kay that I had forgotten. So I'm going to start with that, and then we'll get right into our story. This is what Mary Kay said. We are all angels with only one wing, and we can only fly when we embrace each other. We are all angels with only one wing, and we can only fly when we embrace each other. And I just felt like that was timely, that was important. That was what Mary Kay said and would be saying, I believe, to us. Okay, so last week we talked about miracle sets, repair sets, skincare sets. We got excited about the skincare special that Mary Kay has so graciously given to us this month. We talked about strategy for deciding what your goal was and strategy for how you're going to present this to your customers, how you're going to have it grow your business by having them work for discounts, right? Not just giving them to them, but working for them. Well, I want to tell you a story. I kind of teased it last week that I have told before over the years, but I think it bears repeating. Okay, so when I was a brand new, and I mean brand new, the ink hadn't even dried on my Mary Kay agreement, and yes, we used to fill them out on a piece of paper and mail them in. Oh, duh. I had just started my Mary Kay business right as the new Mary Kay year was launching. So for those of you that are new, that would mean July 1st is when the new Mary Kay year launches. So I had actually started and signed my agreement and mailed it in the very end of June. But by the time I got started, it was about a month later, and that's a whole nother story. I panicked. I was scared. I didn't open my starter kit, blah, blah, blah. But I did end up going to seminar, and I know that we're not going to be able to physically go to seminar this year, but we are going to be able to be there virtually. So excited about that. A lot more is going to be coming out about that. Yay. But anyways, so that changed everything, and I came home, I got excited, and I thought, whatever Mary Kay tells me to do, I'm going to do. Or as National Sales Director Emeritus Linda Tupin always said, follow the prize trail, right? And so I had heard of this contest called the Century Club, and the Century Club was to add 100 new skincare customers for the year. So I was brand new, never done a skincare party in my life, never really sold anything in my life except for Girl Scout cookies, and my mom really sold most of them for me. But I heard that, and I thought, okay, follow the prize trail. 100 seems like a lot, especially when I wasn't even really sure if I wanted to do this. But if that's what they say to do, I'll do it, right? I call it too smart to doubt. Not too dumb to doubt. We're not dumb. Too smart to doubt. And so I started off on my Mary Kay business. Oh, my goodness. Falling and failing, but getting back up, following scripts, muddling my way through, reading my flip chart, putting my beauty coat on, figuring out how to do it around a very busy work schedule and a very small contact list. But I booked from my bookings and, learned how to do the business and slowly but surely started to add skincare customers. And so I don't know how you're adding skincare customers right now, if you're using the man, let me just say, I know I'm going to sound like an old fogey right now, but if I had those tools back then, I could only imagine. I mean, you could add 100 skincare customers by sending people to the Skin Analyzer app, for crying out loud. So, old school, right, baby? Old school. But throughout that year, one by one, I added those skincare customers. So what was the prize, Callie, that you were working so hard for? Well, the prize was a little tiny pin. Yep, just a little tiny pin. That was it. For a whole year's worth of work. And I think recognition at the seminar. So on the last day of June, I had 3 more sets to sell, and I was making my phone calls, and I did it, and I was so excited. And we had to have it postmarked. We had to mail stuff in. Oh, you guys, I had to have it postmarked by that day. So I took my little Century Club forms, and they had everything from the date of sale, the name, the address, the phone number, how much they bought, what they bought, the whole thing. And I printed out 4 of them because there was 25 per page, and I wrote them all in. And, actually, I've been writing them in. Let me rephrase that. But I wrote in my last ones. And because it was the deadline, and I'd worked up to the deadline, I just folded those puppies up and stuck it in the mail, thinking, there we go, I'm done. Didn't bother to make a photocopy of it or anything, just was ready to get it out in the mail. So a week or 2 later, I'm talking to my power partner, and she says, oh, did you get your Century Club letter in the mail? And I said, no. Oh, no, I didn't. Well, let me wait another day or so, and no Century Club letter. I thought, well, that's strange. So I called Mary Kay Customer Service. I said, hi, I just wanted to make sure everything was okay. I didn't receive my Century Club letter, but I did do it. And the woman on the other end of the phone said, oh, no, Callie, we never received that. We never got your letter. We never got your forms that you had done the Century Club. And you guys, I was crushed. I about started crying on the phone, and I thought, what? What do you mean? I did it. I mailed it out. I did the contest. And she could probably hear the panic in my voice. And she said, I'll tell you what, if you go ahead and just fax in, yeah, I know, right. Fax in your pages, just send us the copy of them, fax in your pages by end of day today. You know what, we're going to go ahead and still give you your PIN. Oh, she was probably laughing. And I said, okay. And I get off the phone, and you probably already know what happened, right? Because I had mailed those off real quick. I didn't have a record of it. I didn't have a copy of that. But I thought, okay, what am I going to do? I'm going to recreate them. So I had hired my first little assistant. She was making $5 an hour. She was a college student. And I told her to stop everything. We need to fill these forms back out. Okay. So we have 100 skincare customers to recall. I'm pulling out my sales tickets and my weekly accomplishment sheets and my customer profile cards. Oh, you guys, and we're recreating every single one of these skincare customers on this sheet, right? And we're frantically filling them out. And then we get stuck. We filled out 3 pages of skincare customers throughout the year. And we couldn't find any more. That was 75 customers. Now, that's not bad. But we were missing 25 of them. And she was looking at me, and I was looking at her, and she was looking back at me, and I was looking back at her, and I know what she was thinking, like, you just got busted. You didn't really do 100, you did 75. And I just sat there for a minute, and I thought, this isn't right. Something's not adding up. Where are those other 25? And after a minute, it hit me. You see, on June 1st of that year, I had just become a brand new sales director. car driving sales director. And I went and I looked at my unit list, and there were the other 25. Still kind of gives me chills to this day. There were the other 25. That's right. They're out that first year of my Mary Kay business, just slinging skincare sets one by one. Oh, you guys, I wish you could have been in my head. Just, not having all the skills that many of you have, but having determination, having bounce back ability, definitely having disappointments, going to appointments and not selling a lot and driving back home and thinking, is it worth it? One skincare set at a time. But I share that story with you because, and by the way, we did fax in and I did get my pin. I'm so proud of that pin. But I want you to know that, there's a lot of lessons in this, isn't there? And I'll let you make your own lessons and takeaways from it. But I tell you, right in the middle of sharing Mary Kay skincare with 100 women, I had no idea I was actually building what would be now my $3 million year, right? I had no clue. And I had no clue that the math was going to play out pretty much perfectly. What are our averages? 1 out of 4, 1 out of 5 start their Mary Kay business. And there was a lot of times I'd talk to 10 people about Mary Kay and nobody would sign up, right? Or then all of a sudden I'd be like, man, I'm on fire. I just recruited 3 in a row. No, no, I didn't. I was just getting the averages playing out from those that had said no. I was working through my no's to get to my yeses. I was getting my yeses because I'd had my no's. But all along, those no's turned into skincare customers, a customer base that would lead to national courts of sales and an amazing reorder business. I'm still getting reorders from those first 100, 75 really. So I want you to know that just like last month with the Twice as Nice, we called that the Now and Later. I called that the Now and Later Challenge. What you're doing now is also going to show up later. What you're doing now is also going to show up later. So trust the math. Magic will come from it. Know that as we finish this quarter on June 15th, as we finish this year, that it's not just a deadline. Your business doesn't just stop after the 15th or after the 30th. It's going to continue going. So utilizing this skincare promotion and special that we have right now is going to pay off again and again and again. So I bet there's somebody on the phone. I know how you're thinking. You just need to order 100 skincare sets and see how long it takes you to get through those 100 skincare sets, get them out of your house and get them into somebody else's house. And let's see how mathical it turns out for you. How would you love 75 new skincare customers? Well, 100 really, but 25 of those become new team members. You'd be on the National Court of Sharing. Sales directors, can you imagine what that would do for your business during Great Start? Every single one of you listening to me would become a new sales director. Skincare customers become the best Mary Kay Beauty consultants. So take this challenge from me, whether you actually do the Century Club, whether you just focus on the skincare promotion, but just know that and keep good records too. But I just wanted to share that story with you today. So it inspires you. Take your own lessons from it. I usually am the one that writes them all down for you and shares them with you, but I know you have your own specific one you needed to hear, whether it was not giving up, whether it was the power of the skincare party, whether it was, working the numbers. So take those today. Have an amazing day. Let's finish strong. Let's get everyone in the world on Mary Kay Skincare, and I believe in you. And I am an angel with one wing, and I'm embracing you today so we can fly. Bye-bye.